Good afternoon. MI6, Director General ASIO, National Security Director General ASIO, Hargun Chalaka. Today we're covering cognitive warfare. Essentially, they're conducting cognitive warfare on me. What's known as cognitive warfare. They get their technology from Caruso and Comey. FBI Caruso, the Ambassador Caruso, and Comey, to attack and murder the pedophile cops because they're all pedophiles and selling children. And they get Aryan Brotherhood to murder you. Whenever you solve a child case, identify anyone in a child case, solve a child case, or identify any of them. If you look at my work and you identify and they fill out, they will conduct cognitive warfare on you. That's why no one likes the page. As soon as you like it, you start hearing voices, feeling funny, dizzy. We'll cover all of that. Cognitive warfare. If you don't identify them in a child case, notify police, report to police. They set up your mind. And with Howie's Sonic Unit Mind Reader, they set your mind up with child wanking cases, child pornography. Now everything is swapped. The child pornography database is a common database that they use from the surveillance database. They get kids in compromising positions on the police surveillance cameras in the TV, etc. And they say that the images are on your camera, on your iPad, on your telephone, on your mobile phone, etc. They say the images are on your device. Everything is swapped. Now the images are on their device, and they'll conduct secret hearings with the ministers. Everything is swapped. So the child database is on the child porn database is on their computer, and they'll swap it. This is because you identified them in a child case. They'll get you as a pedophile. Caruso, Comey, Peter Dutton, Andrew Hastie, put them into ASIO, put all the pedophiles into ASIO. All the ABC are all pedophiles. All the politicians or devil worshipper pedophiles. The pedophiles and the devil worshippers work close together. The devil worshippers protect the pedophiles, and the pedophiles protect the devil worshippers. The devil worshippers kill people for the pedophiles. And now you can look it up on the internet, there's lots of material. So in Australia, they get the cognitive technology around the world off Caruso and Comey. FBI Caruso, James Caruso, the Australian ambassador, to attack the pedophile. They killed all the pedophile cops, murdered all the pedophile women. They're in hiding. They get everybody to murder them, the devil worshippers. Andrew Hastie, they put them into ASIO. That's why they're not allowed to say they're ASIO. They made Home Affairs to put all their child sex as ASIO and classify it as ASIO in Home Affairs. They still, even today, they still come on and say that they're ASIO. Every 2 days, they say they're ASIO, and I'm not ASIO. So I'll go over that in cognitive warfare. Caruso and Comey, FBI Caruso, FBI Comey, from Home Affairs, Police Operations Centre, ABC Police Operations Centre at the ABC. They also attack you on the TV. They'll talk about you on the TV. This is if you identify any of these pedophiles. They all have child sex cases. They're all Mako pedophiles. All of them are Mako pedophiles on the Mako pedophile register. As of about 3 weeks ago now, the Child Protection UR made them all Mako pedophiles. They're not allowed to go near shopping centres, near schools, near bus stops. They have to report, they have to wear an ankle bracelet. All the police were Mako pedophiles, and so were all the ABC. They're all the ones in Michelle Pogmore's tape as well, the ABC and the Stars. Now you can check. So before we get into all the different cognitive things that they do to your body, feelings, they give you feelings and sensation, different feelings and sensation. I've got about, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 15 different feelings, types of feelings they give. We'll cover that. So we'll just go over they get it off Caruso and Comey. When you identify them in a child murder case, notify police or report to police any child stuff. They set up your mind. They say that you have the memory or you're thinking about them. In a secret hearing, you're thinking about your kids sexually or you're thinking about the kids next door. Now everything is swapped. They'll swap the dog with the cat. They'll swap the cat with the child. They'll say that the kids are with them at the operation centre. They'll say they're with you at your house, in your bed. And now they're all devil worshippers, and in the hearing, it's you versus all the devil worshippers, the women, the men, and they all gang up on you. You got no chance. You got no chance at all. It's all one-sided. Jennifer Hawkins, Delta Goodrum, and they're the witnesses. And everyone's swapped, even the pedophile cops are swapped. Secret hearings with the ministers. Now the child database is on their system. It's not on your system, it's the surveillance database, child surveillance database, and they'll set you up for it. Peter Dutton, Andrew Hastie, they put them into ASIO. Caruso put them into Home Affairs ASIO, the ABC. Now what they do, with the cognitive technology, it's also at the operations centre. All these devices, from many, many kilometres away, up to 50 kilometres away, it upsets your electronic signature on your body, your electromagnetic signature on your body. They make you feel spicy. So one of the ones that Caruso has, so this, when you identify a child case or send some information in about a child, quite often they will ask for information. Have you seen any information about this child? Now that they've done, the people asking the information are usually the ones that did the murder. They're the ones involved in the murder, and they're trying to find out who knows, to move them into schizophrenic programs, homeless programs, replace them at work. Who's got dash cam footage? Who knows any information about the child? When you send information in, all of a sudden one night you'll start to feel spicy. They put little bubbles. SAS have one that put little bubbles in your body, like little fish tank bubbles. It gives you cramps and stitches. I get that quite regularly. Tonic water helps with that. Displacement kills. Displacement kills you. You start to feel panicky. You start to panic. When they're displacing you and you start to panic and you need to go to the toilet, it makes you go to the toilet. You need to go to bed. Put the air conditioner on or put the heater on and go straight to bed. Otherwise you won't survive. I'm the only person who ever survived displacement. Jumping in the head are emergency services. When you lie down in bed, you got people, they jump in and out of your head. They jump in and out of your head is emergency services, like a jumping feeling, jumping in your head. Now Mi5 ASIO and Mi6, they have feelings of sadness. Suddenly a feeling comes over you. Feelings of sadness, anxiety, worries come over you. Worries, anxiety, feelings and sadness. Now the Liberal Party have this Parkinson's one. They will attack you in your bed. They did this to me the other night. I was very tired after I worked all day. And they attack you from either side. And it makes you move your head. So you're constantly moving your head for the whole night. They're devil worshippers, these Liberal women that have this. They're all in the police operations and everyone knows who they are now. They make you wobble your head and you get sick. You get very sick. Your eyes fill with phlegm and you get dizzy. You can get a stroke, heart attack, stroke quite easily. But that's more special operations type stuff. We won't get into that. They surround you either side and your head wobbles from side to side, stirred in bed. You wake up dizzy from the Liberal Party attacking you in bed. And then sometimes, before they start doing it, ASIO might wake you up. Suddenly your eyes open and you wake up before something happens. They can insert a thought. Now with the mind reader, they can read your mind. When they set you up, you ask what your mind memory is, and they'll have a witness that gives a false mind memory statement. They have a false mind memory statement. The FBI make you slightly nauseated, feeling sick. Now they get this all from Caruso and the FBI Comey. I think Comey passed away. FBI Caruso, he gives it to all the pedophiles, puts all the pedophiles into home affairs. They all had child sex, devil worship cases in home affairs that they wanted to classify in ASIO. Now, if FBI make you slightly nauseated, feel sick. Now, while you're working, you can't get into stress positions. You find yourself in stress positions when you work. They do this while you work. They do this all the time while I work. In the garden, working. They don't care. They won't care if you're lying in the gutter. They will not flinch an eyelid. You got to pick yourself up and keep going. No one's coming to help you. You got to relax and get comfortable. When they start doing this to you, you got to really relax. Lie on the couch, get really comfortable. Lie down and get comfortable. Now another one that ASIO has, touch your eyes and face. When you see ASIO, you touch your eyes. Know that we know that you know that we're ASIO. You got another one, give you a feeling to check your systems, a feeling of danger. Suddenly they'll give you a feeling of danger, you got to check your system. No danger, clicked on the left, no danger. No danger. And when you're out somewhere in the shopping centre or out and about, get a feeling. No danger. Now safety, check safety, check bad feeling. Now, but this goes together with the adapter, 911, brief 911, slow down controls adapter. So they get her FBI Caruso, Ambassador Caruso, to all the pedophiles, to attack the pedophile cops, to murder the pedophile cops. They killed all the pedophile cops. They're all pedophiles. Good afternoon, Director Hagunutulaka, ADCP here. Today the US Senate asked me to cover cognitive vulnerabilities, cognitive technology, mind reader, Howie sonic unit. It's fallen into the wrong hands. That's the mind reader, Howie sonic unit mind reader. Advances in biophysical, biochemical, and behavioural technologies are beginning to turn science fiction into reality. These developments offer exciting possibilities while also raising issues with regard to ethics and responsible use. The Alliance faces a range of significant opportunities in emerging and disruptive technologies. The field of cognitive biotechnology, CBT, is an emerging domain with wide-ranging implications for Alliance members' economic and military competitiveness. And as was discussed in the case of artificial intelligence, developments in this field require both a dynamic adoption of new technologies and a focus on their responsible governance. CBT, cognitive biotechnology, is the ability for technology to enhance and improve human thinking, sensing, coordinating, and acting upon the physical and sociological environment. With CBT, cognitive biotechnologies, our effectiveness, normally constrained by the limits of human physiology, can now be extended and augmented by biophysical, biochemical, and bioengineered means. This field is in its infancy, but its implications are vast. For instance, in the last decade, scientists have actually melded brain signals with machine interfaces to create mind control prosthetics. More recently, they have made a flow of information bidirectional, creating prosthetics that can now feel sensation and these feelings back to the brain. Feelings by mind control prosthetics made the flow of information bidirectional, creating prosthetics that now can feel sensation. And that's what we'll be covering. Cognitive vulnerabilities, cognitive technology, they give you feelings. Insert a thought. With Howie Mind Reader, disruptive technology. So you've got the Mega Ray, LRAD, and the Mind Reader goes at the operations center as well. They have the Mind Reader, the pedophile cops. The pedophile cops have the Mind Reader. ASIO advisor, get it all from James Caruso, former ambassador, to attack the pedophile cops. And anyone that solves a child murder case or sends child information to the police, they conduct cognitive warfare on them. ASIO advisor, get it also from the world leaders, from the British politicians, all the cognitive technologies, all the MI5, MI6 technologies from the royal family, Princess Kate especially, Princess Kate and Prince William, they all have devil worship cases, child murder cases. So they hate the pedophile cops. They'll from the operations centre, from Prince William, Prince Andrew, Princess Kate, Prince Charles, to keep all their child murder cases secret. This is what it's like in your house, with all the cognitive technologies attacking you from all sides. It's all fielded by mental health. It's all the mental health symptoms. They all have child devil worship cases. They get it from the FBI, mainly the FBI. And the Princess Kate and Prince William and the royal family conceal all the devil worship cases. And the neighbours attack you as well. Set you up, frame for child murder stuff. The neighbours attacking you, believe the neighbours are doing something to you. It's all fielded by mental health because you solved a child case. Deep neural networks. How is Sonic Unit Mind Reader? That's a deep neural network.
All right, get ready, because tonight's Future of Everything is mind-bending, or actually mind-reading, because it's looking a lot more like AI is capable of reading our thoughts. And we're not just talking about it predicting what kind of TikTok we want to see next or what kind of product we might buy. This next breakthrough is a lot deeper, all the way down to the very tissue of our brains, where researchers have used AI to translate brain scans into text. Now, for this study, scientists at UT Austin created a 3D view of a person's brain while they listened, watched, or imagined a story. And see, we've got it for you right there. That pink stuff, all that pink stuff means above average brain activity, and the blue spots have below average brain activity. And to us, we see that and we're like, okay, that part's activated, that part's not. But researchers say the AI was able to read the brainwaves and translate all of that you're seeing right there into English and turn it into what looks like inner dialogue.
This is a real leap forward compared to what's been done before, which is typically on like single words or short sentences, where you can get something about the gist of a sentence or something about, what a word is related to. But we're getting whole strings of text, pretty complicated ideas.
Okay, so what does that actually look like? Check this out. Here are the volunteers, and the volunteers were asked to watch a movie clip without audio, and this is what the AI described. You're seeing it right there, actual stimulus, and they described, I see a girl that looks just like me get hit on her back, and then she is knocked off, end quote. The eyes saw it, the brain processed it, and the AI typed out what they were thinking. I'm still trying to figure out how that would even work. With us now is Nita Farahani. She is a futurist, an ethicist, a law professor at Duke University, the author of Battle for Your Brain, Defending the Right to Think Freely in the Age of Neurotechnology. Welcome, Doctor. So researchers are saying that they hope that this could one day help victims of like a stroke. But how do you see this type of technology being used?
I think it has tremendous promise in that it actually offers potentially people who have locked-in syndrome, suffering from ALS or other conditions, to be able to have their thoughts interpreted into speech so that they could communicate with the outside world. It also has potential for everyday people to use it. And when that starts to happen, I start to worry about what it looks like for mental privacy and for freedom of thought of individuals.
Now, just to be clear, like in this case, people are sticking electrodes. I mean, there's a lot of monitoring that goes
there's no
in, right?
electrodes.
There's a lot of
so one of the things, one of the things that's extraordinary about this is there are no electrodes. This is a big machine. It's a functional magnetic resonance imaging machine. That means that people went into this machine non-invasively without any electrodes inside of the brain, that they were able to pick up blood flow changes in their brain. And one of the things that's incredibly remarkable about this study is not only the precision of what they picked up, but then they decided to test and see if the model that they created, which was using GPT-1, generative AI, we're all talking about ChatGPT these days, they wanted to see if they could use that same classifier on a portable system, not a big bulky device like fMRI. So they tried it out on something called FNIRS, functional near infrared spectroscopy, which is a wearable device, something that people could use in their everyday lives to track their brain health, to track their everyday focus and mind wandering. They found that they could get the same level of precision using that kind of portable device with the classifier that they had developed. In other words, everyday mind reading may be possible using devices that we may come to use in our everyday lives.
It's non-invasive and GPT-1, so this was done before GPT-4. We don't know what's on the horizon. I mean, your book talks about mental privacy. What are your concerns when it comes to AI and other neurotechnologies that could infringe on that?
So the coming future that I see is the use of everyday brain wearables. People are used to wearing, for example, sensors that track their heart rate or track their sleep activity in the form of a watch or a ring. Now, companies like Meta and Snap are starting to buy and develop their own neurotechnology to put sensors that track brain activity into everyday devices like earbuds or headphones that people could use to take a conference call, but also track their brain activity, which can be promising for things like tracking brain health or tracking focus and attention. But it also means that the very same corporations who are commodifying all of our personal data are suddenly going to have access to what's happening in our own brains. And then I fear that our right to mental privacy, our right to freedom of thought could substantially be interfered with. We've already seen that kind of interference with things like Cambridge Analytica, when you can start to have much more precise access to what people are thinking and feeling, and then change what they're seeing in their social media or the kinds of algorithms that are feeding different information to them in the platforms that they interact with. I worry that there's a future that we're just not ready for.
Nita, I feel like we should be talking to you every single day. I hope you come back. Thank you so much for this conversation, and hopefully it's one of many more to come. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And that does it for us tonight.
Look at the beast.
Time to check in with our lizard overlords in Davos, Switzerland. What are they up to? Well, this.
So, first off, a video. It's going to make you see the future and understand a wonderful future where we can use brainwaves. Let's roll.
You're in the zone. Even you can't believe how productive you've been. Your memo is finished, your inbox is under control, and you're feeling sharper than you have in a decade. Sensing your joy, your playlist shifts to your favorite song, sending chills up your spine as the music begins to play. You glance at the program running in the background on your computer screen and notice a now familiar sight that appears whenever you're overloaded with pleasure. Your theta brainwave activity decreasing in the temporal regions of your brain. You mentally move the cursor to the left and scroll through your brain data over the past few hours. You can see your stress levels rising as the deadline to finish your memo approached, causing a peak in your beta brainwave activity right before an alert popped up, telling you to take a brain break. But what's that unusual change in your brain activity when you're asleep? It started earlier in the month. You send a text message to your doctor with a mental swipe of your cursor. Could you take a quick look at my brain data? Anything to worry about? Your mind starts to wander to the new colleague on your team, whom you know you shouldn't be daydreaming about, given the policy against intra-office romance. But you can't help fantasizing just a little. But then you start to worry that your boss will notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present. You breathe a sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter, which have earned you another performance bonus. You head home jamming to the music with your work-issued brain-sensing earbuds still in. When you arrive at work the next day, a somber cloud has fallen over the office. Along with emails, text messages, and GPS location data, the government has subpoenaed employees' brainwave data from the past year. They have compelling evidence that one of your coworkers has committed massive wire fraud. Now, they're looking for his co-conspirators. You discover they are looking for synchronized brain activity between your coworker and the people he has been working with. while you know you're innocent of any crime, you've been secretly working with him on a new startup venture. Shaking, you remove your earbuds.
What do you think? Is it a future you're ready for? You may be surprised to learn that it's a future that has already arrived. Everything in that video that you just saw is based on technology that is already here today. It used to be that there was very little we could tell from EEG activity, but already using consumer wearable devices, these are headbands, hats that have sensors that can pick up your brainwave activity, earbuds, headphones, tiny tattoos that you can wear behind your ear. We can pick up emotional states like, are you happy or sad or angry? We can pick up and decode faces that you're seeing in your mind. Simple shapes, numbers, your PIN number to your bank account. Moving past passwords pretty quickly. Neural signatures are unique. We can use it as a biometric for passwords. Really good for passwords. Neural signatures are unique. We can use it as a biometric for passwords.
Nita was appointed by President Obama to the Presidential Commission for the Study of Bioethical Issues and served until 2017. Nita is also part of the expert network for the World Economic Forum. And indeed, the two of us first met at a World Economic Forum event in Tianjin, China. Congratulations, Nita, on the publication of The Battle for Your Brain.
Thanks, Wendell. It's so great to be with you today. And can't imagine anybody I would more enjoy having a conversation with about it or celebrating it with than you, given our long history together.
Well, thank you. To start out, let's talk a little bit about the manipulation of our brain and behavior with the use of neurotechnologies, because I think that's something that appears immediately for many of our listeners when they hear about technologies that are being designed to get in touch with what's going on in our inner life. So tell us a bit about how precise we are in the manipulation of the brain and what you find acceptable and what you think is truly over the line.
That's a good, big, giant place to start, Wendell. And, I should say this, of course, all happens within the context of there's all kinds of predictive algorithms that can already tell with a startling degree of accuracy what we're thinking or feeling in general ways. If you think about a platform like TikTok and the algorithms that power it, part of the reason why governments like the US are so worried is because just after a person spends minutes to hours on a platform like that, the algorithm is better and better able to tell what a person's preferences and desires and biases are, to segment them and start to give them a lot more of what it is that their preferences reveal. And that can subtly manipulate and change people's behavior by shaping their views and making them think that, whatever it is that they're interested in, whatever their bias is, that there's a whole lot of that in the world. It becomes their entire world as the algorithm more precisely shapes what it is that they're interacting with. And if you think about the ways that the rest of the technology that we interact with is designed to hack in many ways to the shortcuts in our brain, from using something like autoplay features that keep you on the screen and watching the next show, or a like button that plays on your need for social reciprocity as a kind of craving a shortcut in your brain that has you come back time and again, and notifications which are bunched together in just a precise way to have you addicted to platforms. Our brains are being manipulated all the time. And so when I wrote The Battle for Your Brain, I didn't write it just about neurotechnology in isolation. I wrote it about neurotechnology as integrated into that broader environment, as well as the technologies which are using advanced understandings of the brain through developments in neurotechnology and through developments in neuroscience to be able to more precisely manipulate the brain. And when I think about manipulation and what that is, it's not an easy line to draw. We try to persuade each other all the time. I'm trying to persuade you and listeners today about the importance of the battle for our brain. But when do we cross the line between persuading other people to try to, bring them around to your perspective or your point of view and share knowledge with them or inspire them in your call to action. There's significant investment in military applications of the technology, whether that's to, kind of build stronger militaries or to try to use the kind of more disconcerting cognitive warfare.
Yeah, tell us more about cognitive warfare. That was intriguing.
Cognitive warfare is scary, not just intriguing, Wendell, right? So
I was intrigued when you brought that up in the book, but yes, I was also scared.
Yeah, there was a report that was sponsored by NATO a couple of years ago that was entitled Cognitive Warfare, and they focused on the fact that the kind of sixth domain of fighting of warfare is warfare for the human brain, for the human mind. And that happens in a few different ways. One of them is information and propaganda warfares. And we're seeing a lot of that. I mean, we saw that with Cambridge Analytica. We've seen that with, attempts to kind of shape and use platforms like social media and disinformation and propaganda campaigns to really be a battle for the brain. But the other area of that is the significant investment into brain-computer interface or, kind of brain wearables, neural interface devices, both to enhance militaries and soldiers and their capabilities, but also to try to interfere with others. So imagine a world in which you have widespread neural interface, which is the world in which I've described, I think, is coming. And people are wearing their earbuds and their headphones, and all of that's brain activity that's being tracked and also used by other countries, interfered with by other countries. And these aren't always just single directional devices. There can be bidirectional devices where you also are writing to the brain as well as reading from the brain, also through things like, you're watching TikTok, you've got your brain sensing earbuds in. Not only can I tell how you're moving through the screen, but also picking up your brain activity and your emotional reactions to the different videos you're looking at and giving you more of the same or trying to amp you up and make you frustrated and angry. There's also worries about being able to hack information from people's brains. And the same kind of P300 that we were talking about, researchers have tried to figure out whether or not you could hack information. Like if I'm wearing these all day while I'm doing my workplace environment, and I type my PIN number in, can you decode that from my brain activity? It seems like the answer is yes. Is there some sort of on-off device I could have to make sure that when I'm entering sensitive information that isn't being recorded? Or could you put into the environment on my screen subliminal probes that would probe my brain for things like my PIN number? These are all possibilities within the world of cognitive warfare. And I'm going to tell you one more, which is there's this whole domain people really worry about, which we can get into or not as you want, about weapons to target or disable the brain. And that's, I think, the scariest category of all. This is like the Havana syndrome claims that people and countries are developing electromagnetic or other weapons to try to target and take out brains to eliminate people's even capacity for choice. I don't know. What do you think about that, Wendell?
Well, I mean, that is truly scary.
Okay. This afternoon we're going through cognitive vulnerabilities, cognitive technologies, disruptive technologies. Cognitive technologies, Howie, sonic unit, mind reader. It's fallen into the wrong hands. Essentially, it's the Russian S-400 system. Chinese Howie unit is the Russian S-400 system. It's a Chinese intelligence technology. The cops have it, the pedophile cops use it to protect the children. Now, what they can do with it, other cognitive biotechnologies, is they can have attack vectors. Attack people. Displacement. Displacement causes panic. Essentially, they do it by remote control from the operations center. It's all attached to the megaray or other devices. Another thing they can do is Parkinson's death wobbles. That's fairly common in intelligence. Your head goes like that all night, and then everything spins on an axis and you can't stand up. The Parkinson's death wobbles. Comey, FBI Comey. Essentially, each group will have only one of them. But what they've done is they've collected all of them together. Comey has a slightly nauseated. They make you slightly nauseated. The pedophile cops have one to make you horny. They can make you horny, they can grow you, or make you not horny, they can shrink you. Mi5 ASIO ones are very, very subtle. They're very hard to detect. Mi5 ASIO ones are very, very hard to detect. They can insert a feeling of anger, sadness, worries, and your mind is all clouded. So Mi5 ASIO ones are very subtle, it's very hard to detect. Insert feelings of anger, sadness, worries, and your head is all clouded. You're feeling funny for some reason. And this is all filtered by mental health. Lots of acute care outcomes, mental health outcomes. It comes over you. The ASIO Mi6 one comes over you. Suddenly you're feeling anxiety, tension, anger, sadness. Another one that they have is make you dizzy. They can make you dizzy. And ASIO, when Mi5, Mi6 do it, they do it to me, which they're not allowed to do. We've got rogue elements there that actually do the opposite. Those rogue elements do that to me, and then ASIO reset you. So you've got a feeling of anger, sadness, anger, irritability. They can give you the refeeling to reset you as well. ASIO can reset you. So that's a very new one. These are all evolving as well. These are very, very, very new. So with these, with your thoughts, they have automated responses. With the mind reader, they're reading your mind. They're talking to you in your head. They can be talking to you in your head, reading your mind, and sometimes have automated responses. A couple of automated responses. So when you think certain things happen. One of the automated responses is when you rub eyes, eyes see eyes, rub eyes. The ASIO have this statement, when eyes see eyes, they rub eyes. When someone knows that you're ASIO, they will touch their eye. They will touch their eye. They won't touch your eye and that's for us to know that they know that we're ASIO. When eyes see eyes, they rub eyes. They will touch their eye like that. That's an auto-generated response. As soon as they realise that you're ASIO, or recognise you, recognise who you are, they would rub their eye. And ones that touch their face, all sorts of different ones, automatic response. Talking back and responding to mind reader. Talking back is constantly talking back and responding. So they monitor it. At the operations centre, they monitor the airways, which is called air policing, which is what the Navy have to do, is monitor and make sure that no one's ganging up on people, that the cyber rules of engagement are adhered to, that they're not overloading someone with that, attacking someone, especially children and people that are vulnerable. They monitor it, and it's all recorded as well by the military. the emergency services, lots of mental health patients have this one. It feels like they're jumping in your head. When you lay your bed down, when you lay down in your bed, it feels like they're jumping in your head, constantly jumping in your head, or there's voices in your bed. That's emergency services doing it. Fire, ambulance. And they're at the operations centre once again. So it's attached to the searchlight at the operations centre. Over.